gives me pleasure to stand and speak to this third reading of the bill, and I think it's appropriate that in speaking we just canvass the key issues, because I have noticed a tendency, particularly from the opposition benches, to focus on matters that are not part of this bill and to canvass issues around campaign financing and third-party financing which have nothing to do with this bill. So I would like to focus my comments on this, because those other matters, Mr. Speaker, are being dealt with in other bills. In fact, two of which are currently before another select committee. This bill, Mr. Speaker, is really a reorganisation bill that focuses on restructuring the current two current organisations, namely the Chief Electoral Office's functions and the Electoral Commission's functions, into one consolidated organisation. And of course, like any efficient government, we do look to bring together and reduce overhead and reduce bureaucracy, and this is just another simple example of what this bill does. And in due course there will be a second phase which will occur after the next election, in which the roles, the electoral rolls, will be moved into under the umbrella of this organisation. And the reason, of course, that has been delayed until after the next election is simply because of the magnitude of the task that is required. Mr. Speaker, during the select committee stages, really there was only one contentious issue, or I guess not even contentious, but one issue which engaged robust thought and discussion, and that was whether the appointment process and whether the organisation should be an organisation that came under the purview of officers of Parliament, or in fact whether it should be a Crown entity. And we had, as has been referred to at various stages through this House, we had a number of very thoughtful, considered and concise submissions from well-qualified people. Having given due weight to those thoughtful, considered and concise submissions, it was the unanimous view in the end of the Select Committee that, for reasons I think were best captured by David McGee QC's submission, that it should remain as a it shouldn't be going to the officers of Parliament, but rather as a Crown entity. And if I could just, I guess for the record, note the main reason for that, and just read the relevant part from his submission, which is that unlike other officers of Parliament, and here of course we're talking about the Auditor General, the Commissioner for the Environment and such like, who are not themselves primary deliverers of programs, the Electoral Commission would have a major program to deliver at least once every 3 years. The administrative arrangements for a general election, that being the administrative arrangements for a general election. Even with its other functions, the Commission is an active player in this area of activity. This contrasts with the existing officers of Parliament, whose involvement, Mr. Speaker, in government is more as an auditor of other agencies, have performed rather than as performers themselves. And it was really this business of actually having to administer a program as opposed to auditing and commenting on other programs that the Select Committee was swayed by this very thoughtful and considered submission of the David McGee QC. So I think just with those few kind words, Mr. Speaker, it does give me great pleasure in joining with the House, I think, on all sides to support the third reading of this bill.